Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the latest edition of Casino Life and Sports Betting Operator TV. My name is Peter White and I own this media. Today we're from the fabulous venue of the Empire Casino Leicester Square. I'd like to thank venue director Richard Smith for allowing us this opportunity to film from this fabulous location. Today we have Nick Harding, the chairman of the EAG show. Welcome, Nick.
Hi, Peter. Nice to see you again. And as you say, great surroundings. So, it's always feels very special here.
Indeed, it does. And if that's okay, we'll crack on with the first question. Can we commence this interview with congratulations to you, Martin, Nicola, and the whole team for the impressively successful launch of the London Casino and Gaming Show?
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I think it would be nice to go on record to thank Martin Burlin for 15 years of service to EAG. And, of course, to ATEI before that. He's standing down and he's now senior non-exec for the EAG company. And I'm taking over. And there are big boots to fill. And I'm aware of that. But we'll see how we get on.
Fabulous. Well, for a launch show, there was an impressive number of exhibitors who were able to have booths at London Casino and Gaming Show and ICE Barcelona. Do you expect for more companies to follow and exhibit at both shows in 2026?
I think the answer is yes. I think that we may find that some people feel that the ambience and the sort of character, if you like, of the London show being smaller and more of a sort of boutique event suits them better. Some people may exhibit at both, but we're relaxed about that. I think that we were delighted to get the show off the ground. I think that there were some people that might have exhibited that held back, understandably, to see how we got on. And I think that the proof of the pudding was in the fact that at the end of the show, we had a number of business cards from people who said, we weren't here this year, we want to book up for 2026. And of course, that was fantastic and quite an accolade, really. So, I mean, I've not been in the exhibition business before as an organizer. And I do realise that starting 2 new shows, because we also had the Social Interactive Expo launching as well, was quite an ask. I naively thought, well, this is going to be easy, isn't it? But we got it off the ground and we're airborne and we know what direction we're going in.
Fabulous. And for those companies that can see the value in exhibiting at the London Casino and Gaming Show, in addition to ICE Barcelona, but are they yet still undecided? What advice do you have for them?
Well, I think that obviously Barcelona is a massive event. I went to ICE, of course, after our show. And it's a totally different event. I mean, we're creating something which is more specifically land-based for the UK and Europe, somewhere where people can sit and talk to land-based suppliers in a nice environment and have a decent cup of coffee and do deals in somewhere which is a little bit more peaceful, I suppose, because whatever you say about a big show, and they're all the same, they're noisy events, they're very frenetic, and that's the antithesis of what we want to achieve. We don't want to be frenetic. We want you to sit there and be relaxed and buy equipment from exhibitors. And I think we achieved that.
Excellent. How is your team structure developing?
We now have a bigger sales team. Nikki Lazenby is show director, as you know, and we got a guy called Phil Gibbs, who's head of marketing and social media. He's come on board. Phil worked for me in the past. So we've got a nice compact team, which is scalable. And, the more floor space we sell, the bigger the shows get, the more people we're going to employ.
Excellent. What is involved with your new role?
Strategy, team leadership. I'm a sounding board for Nikki. She's got her hand on the rudder, but I'm standing in the forecastle looking at what direction we're going in.
I think Nikki's the show director.
Nikki Lazenby's the show director. Yeah, absolutely. She's a star. She does the heavy lifting. It's easy for chairman to take a step back and say, I'm involved with all this, but she's the person that puts it together.
Excellent. What are amongst your main aspirations and goals for the London Casino and Gaming Show and its partner exhibitions for 2026?
Well, I think that now we've got the two shows added onto the original EAG core, we're looking at the way that they can complement each other. One of the first things we've decided to do post-January is we're moving the location of the social interactive show. We're putting it next to LCG, or London Casino and Gaming Show, because we want to maintain the ambience of and the the sort of more tranquil environment, if you like, of the LCG, and the SIE Expo is full of quieter products. So we're going to go from very, very ambient with the LCG show to something a little bit more noisy, but a lot of VR and stuff like that, which actually is quite quiet, to the louder, more, full on, dance stages and pinball machines of the EAG show. So it's a sort of spectrum, if you like. So, and it's early days. We're still playing around. I mean, for instance, we're looking at creating a tech village this year. Some of our technical exhibitors said, could we all be together? Well, we've not done that before at EAG. So, so we're just, tearing up the rule book a little bit and trying. We're listening to what people are saying.
Right.
I mean, all of us are going around talking to exhibitors. We've made a pledge that everybody that exhibited will get a call or a Zoom or a personal visit to their office. And we're just downloading what their thoughts are, And I think what we're keen to do is to get them all on the team, to help us with the show. And by so doing, increase the number of visitors as well.
Could you give us an intro? I know that you've been in the industry quite a while, so it could be taking long. Okay. To your early background, and tell us a little about how it all started for you in gaming.
All right. Well, how long have you got, really? But when I was young, there were no laws relating to youngsters having jobs. These days, kids can't go out and earn money, can they? I don't know, they have to sit at home and play on a Game Boy or something like that. But no, I started work when I was about 10 for Simon Thomas's grandparents.
Wow.
I lived in a seaside town where you either sold ice creams or deck chairs, and I went to work in an amusement arcade, sweeping up for them. And I worked for them every summer until I finished university, and it gets under your fingernails, gaming. I then went to work for Jimmy Thomas, worked for him for a number of years, went to work for the Bass Group and then the Rank organisation. And it was while I was at Rank that I led a management buyout of the subsidiary that I was managing director of. That became Telarius, which we listed and then sold. Much to our shareholders' delight, as we did well with our sales price. And then we established Presepi from zero. So we started with myself and a PA and an office and nothing else. Grew that significantly and sold it on to the Gelsman Group. And I ran it for Gelsman for a time until I retired just before the pandemic. So I retired and then the whole world joined me. So that's an accelerated version of what I've done. But I've always been in the gaming and leisure sector, yes.
Wow, okay. Well, how has the last 10 or so months been for you since commencement with the London Casino and Gaming Exhibition?
An almost vertical learning curve, really. It's when you take on a chairman's role, you accept that the business you're chairing, you probably know nothing about. And I think that's as it should be, because it means you can ask stupid questions and people don't mind. And it also means that you don't go native, as it were, with staff. I think if you know too much about the sector, then it's easy to accept excuses about why things are done or not done. Whereas if you're new to the sector, you can say, well, why do you do that? Have you thought about doing something different? So it's under Martin's tutelage, and now having taken over from Martin, so I started as their gaming ambassador. I'm learning every day. I had another management committee the other day, and I absorbed more information. It's fun. It's great fun. I'm really enjoying it.
That's good. What would be the approach to responsible gambling with the 2026 show?
We had a responsible gambling hub. Which we had 3 commercial providers of professional gaming, social responsibility training packages, and for instance, Better Gaming were there, and 1 or 2 others. We were disappointed that we didn't have more responsible gambling charities and organizations, some of whom pulled out, at the last minute. And I understand, I'm not saying this is exactly the fact, but I understand that some of the charities are worried about not receiving funding from the NHS if they're working too closely with the industry, which, as an operator and now as chairman, seems absolutely ridiculous. Now, it might be that people will pick up the phone to me and say, of course, that's nonsense. And I'd say, well, why did 4 of you pull out and why did we have empty desks? So I think next year we'll accept that maybe we won't get those charities there, but we will get commercial providers of training programs for social responsibility and responsible gambling.
What would you say to critics who have been quite angry, saying this show is sour grapes, London lost the ICE show, get over it and move on?
I just think that's such a ridiculous thing to say, with all due respect to whoever said it. We've never tried to be ICE 2. Early days, I think, when you and I were discussing this, I said, look, they're going to be the aircraft carrier and we're going to be a small and nimble frigate in the same water. And there's certainly an opportunity for both. We're land-based. ICE is all things, isn't it? But a huge, a huge presence from online, which we don't have. So we will continue to develop the show. We don't see us as snapping at their ankles at all. We're going to, swim in a slightly different pond. And we would like to think that people will come and visit the show in London. They'll enjoy everything that London itself has to offer, which, with all due respect, I don't think Barcelona does have to offer. And we'll coexist quite comfortably.
Will there be any new sectors being introduced in 2026, such as sports betting and payment systems and services?
Certainly, we're starting to look at sports betting. I think that's part of the land-based sector, which we didn't address last year. We wanted to set our stall out with the London Casino and Gaming Show. Sports betting needs to be represented, and the sales team will be talking to suppliers that would like to come and exhibit. In terms of payment systems, I'm not sure. We'll take a rain check on that unless somebody specifically wants to talk to us about that. But we've got a heavy history and tradition in the UK, particularly for sports betting. And I think that there are a lot of people that would like to exhibit in London that wouldn't feel that they would fit in with ICE in Barcelona.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for your time here today, Nick, and we look forward to going from you in future.
It's a pleasure, Peter. Always nice to talk to you.